Internet usage in Uganda has continued to grow in recent years, and according to the 2020 African Population and Internet Usage Statistics, Uganda has 18 million internet users out of the estimated population of over 45 million people. The growth in internet users has also made it important for countries to interest themselves in what happens online. A survey done by the Unwanted Witness Uganda, a digital rights NGO, indicates that the right to privacy and internet freedom is under threat as government imports surveillance equipment and sets up internet surveillance units. Dorothy Mukasa, the executive director of the Unwanted Witness, says there is also massive data collection in the country, but with less transparency.
2019, the report that we released, we realized that there's a lot of surveillance technology that's being procured by the state. There's a lot of money invested in technology as a whole. But then there's little or even no transparency when it comes to how these technologies are used. But remember, these technologies impact on Ugandans, you know. And it's also, as a country, Uganda is mandated to be transparent when it comes to using these technologies.
Mukasa also says the lack of transparency in the management of election data may affect the credibility of the 2021 elections.
Ugandans are likely not to have an upper hand in the process if technology is going to be is going to be fronted, you know, and surveillance is going to continue. For instance, if, for example, CCTV cameras are supposed to be used to monitor who is gathering where and how, you know, with also the use of facial recognition technology, then it becomes very intrusive for the freedom of assemblies, you know. People will not be able to assemble because then you're watched all over.
That perhaps that person does not know the registration process and how we have used technology in elections. And it wouldn't be a bad idea for that person to come to the Electoral Commission and ask us some questions that can help her.
Major political actors have also not been spared as the 2021 elections get closer.
If social media was blocked in 2016, where activism was really low, what happens now? So we closely monitoring and asking government to really respect its obligation, you know, and ensure that the right to freedom of expression is permitted even online.
In 2019, a US-based newspaper, the Wall Street Journal, reported that the Ugandan security officials worked with technicians from telecom giant Huawei to infiltrate presidential aspirant Robert Kyagulanyi's communications. However, government denied the claims and called them extension of America's battle with Huawei, while Huawei described the allegations as unfounded and inaccurate. However, Charles Twine, the spokesperson of the Criminal Intelligence and Investigations Directorate, refuted the allegations, saying they are baseless.
But we are not going to be drilled and diverted. I am actually very skeptical on what their intention is, because what we know from the crime analysis, we know very well that tremendously we have reduced on the crime. There are some criminals who have actually stopped committing crime within the Kampala metropolitan, courtesy of these cameras. So if somebody comes and condemns these cameras, you need to really wonder what his intention is.
Twine says all security tools at their disposal are used for the good of the country.
As far as we know, we don't target individuals who are doing their work for as long as it is devoid of any crime.
Opposition political actors will talk to express their concern over the continued surveillance of their political activities, which they called an abuse of their rights.
There are people who support us, especially private people who don't want to be known. But the moment they speak to you, in the past we have had the phone, which was a problem. They were tracking all phones after we passed the one of the anti-terrorism acts. But today they are able to monitor social media, all the platforms, to know who is communicating, to who has originated which message. Even someone you have hired just to do for you a message, using these latest equipment the CID has acquired. I know Grace Akuro has them. They will be able to tell. If they can't localize the message, they will tell you this message originated from Kawanda or originated from Chira, and then they can narrow down on that particular year to look out for who was originating that message.
These guys put in place these cameras not to monitor and look out for who is committing crime, I don't know, robbers and so on. No, that was not the target. The intention was political. And that is why, when there is a peaceful protest, that's when the cameras are very much at work. So they look out for, so Senyonyi was part of the protest, the other one, and so on. Then they begin to look for these people and fetch them.
We have detected some riotous incidents which are related to politics. And therefore, if we can use one of the infrastructures in the name of the CCTV to detect some of the crimes related to politics, to us it's a good door.
With unwanted witness warning about the massive advantage surveillance infrastructure gives the government in power, it is obvious technology will be a huge game changer in the 2021 elections, and it remains to be seen how much they impact the tools at the disposal of different camps in the elections. Ivan Chimutigozi, NTV.